Hello, children of darkness. Welcome. This is going to be my first drawing stream today. I decided that we were going to draw today rather than do the next part of Missive Aiden. We're gonna leave Missive Aiden for Saturday and finish up the game then. But today I actually am going to draw for you guys. I'm going to draw the Imps. Well, I'm going to draw one of my imps. I have a lot of imps who live with me. So today we're just gonna draw one of them. And today we're gonna be drawing the imp who works for me. His name is Archibald, and he is really nice. He's a nice little friend of mine. So yeah, so I'm gonna move over here and we're gonna get started. So I've got everything all set up. So everything should be working all right. Let me just check. I'm going to check my sound settings really quick because I should have some music playing. I'm just going to have one of my favorite songs playing in the background while I do this. Let me just make sure that it's... Yep, it's playing. Okay, good. Alrighty, so... Oop. Gotta make sure Streamlabs is up. There we go. Okay. Haha. So. So this, oh, let me show you guys. So this is what I've started with. This is Archie, also known as Archibald. He's one of the imps who lives with me here at the castle. And he very generously agreed to stand still while I sketched him out. And now I'm going to be drawing him. I'm going to be doing the line art and hopefully starting on some color tonight. So, yeah, to tell you a little bit more about the imps while I draw. So, the imps live with me here at the castle. They have lived with me for most of my life. Basically they're all part of the same family. And they have worked for my family for eons and eons. Archie's dad works for my dad, and then his mom is one of my mom's ladies in waiting. And so I've known Archie my whole life. Archie's actually older than me, but he's really nice. He's always looks really tired though. His eyes are always really baggy, like he hasn't gotten enough sleep. Sometimes I worry about him. And I think he's overworking, but he says that he's not. He says that he's doing just fine, and I believe him. I think that he just has sleepy eyes. You know how they say that some people have, resting angry face? I think Archie just has resting sleepy face. Which, I mean, who can blame him? I know I get sleepy all the time. So just like me, he has slitted pupils. It's actually quite customary in the underworld to have sleepy pupils. Or, well, sleepy eyes and slitted pupils, honestly. But, yeah, Archie's about 200 years older than I am, give or take. He's never told me exactly how much older than me he is. I don't know. I think maybe he's a little bit embarrassed. But I don't think he needs to be. I mean, there's plenty of other demons in the underworld who are older than me. I mean, my mom and my dad are like millennia old. But yeah, Archie's family, so basically his whole family, or members of his family, work for me here at the castle. Not his whole family, because obviously some others stayed down in our castle in the Ninth Circle, but a lot of them came with me when I took the assignment to come to Earth. I don't know why. I think maybe they just wanted to see something different. They wanted some fresh air. Which honestly, who can blame them? It can get a little bit stuffy down there. What with all the brimstone and the fires. And even in the ninth circle where it's relatively cold, you know, you can only take so much snow. But yeah, Archie has really pretty eyes. He has 2 different colored eyes, actually. Which you'll see once I start coloring them. Gotta make his eyes sleepier. He's very heavy-lidded. His eyelids are always really heavy, really weighted down. Yeah, like that. He's a sleepy boy. And you can imagine with the time changes when we came to Earth, even more so. Especially when daylight savings time happens. He is not a fan. Not a fan at all. If you think I drink a lot of coffee, you should see the Imps. They love their caffeine. Draw his nosy. He's got a little nosy. Little nosy friend. And all the Imps, I don't know why, but all the Imps have like these tiny little eyebrows. I asked them about it once. I was like, why do you guys have such small eyebrows? Like, because it's not like, you know, a couple of them have a couple of small eyebrows. It's like all of them have small eyebrows. I said, why do you guys have such small eyebrows? And they said that they couldn't tell me it was a secret. Which to me sounds like a cop-out. It's like, there's got to be a reason you have such small eyebrows. And they said they just couldn't tell me. Which is totally unfair. You should be able to tell the person you work for why you have small eyebrows. I mean, I think that's in like some sort of pamphlet or something. Like, don't curse in front of the children, be sure to wear the work uniform, and explain to your employer why you have small eyebrows. I made this eye a little bit baggy. He's got baggy eyes, but maybe not quite that baggy. Not that baggy. So the program I'm using is one that I've used for a long time. It's called Paint Tool Sci. And I really recommend it to anybody who likes to illustrate, because it's kind of fantastic, especially if you have a good tablet. It has all these different tools that allow you to edit and select and do different things. So if you are an artist yourself and are maybe looking for a new program to try out, I must recommend Paint Tool Sci if you haven't tried it already, because it's pretty fantastic. It's good for painting. It's good for illustration. Yeah, that's his little... That's the frowny face I love. Oh, I would never judge their fashion. No, they dress very smartly. But I do sometimes wonder about their small eyebrows. Alright, so we got his face drawn. Do 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 do. We'll draw the outline of his face. He's got a little face. And if you're curious, since I did mention that Archie, he is older than me, but he's much shorter than me. I'm about 5'5". Archie is about 4 feet tall, like flat, like just 4 feet. Not 4'1", not 4'2". He's just 4 feet tall. He is very short. But it kind of makes him cuter. I think it makes him look kind of cute. Because he also has really fluffy hair, as you can see. When I was little, I used to call him, Sheep. I used to call him Little Sheep. Because I wasn't the smartest kid growing up. When I was really, we're talking, like when I was like 200 years old. I wasn't the smartest in my class. And I thought Archie was a sheep demon. But he wasn't. He just has fluffy hair. He kind of looks like a little hobbit. Now that I think about it. Little hobbit. I bet he would like some rabbit stew with potatoes. Potatoes. Oh, drawing semicircles is hard. I think the act of drawing circles was something that my dad invented to make everybody have a bad day. Draw a perfect circle. Do it now. See, this is why I like Paint Tool Side, because I can draw something that's maybe not necessarily perfect, but then it's got this really nice deforming tool that allows me to take a line I've drawn or some colors I've colored and reshape them like Play-Doh. So I can get it exactly how I want. And let me tell you, any princess will tell you that we want things exactly the way we want them. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. One thing, though, I've been thinking about asking the imps to help me get, is I've been thinking about asking the imps to help me find a Cintiq in the underworld. Because I'm sure if we were able to find this computer that I'm using, certainly we'd be able to find a Cintiq somewhere. Of course, I've never used a Cintiq before. When I got into drawing, I started out with just the type of tablet that I use now, which is one of these that you don't even look at your hand. You're just drawing with one hand and then looking at the screen with the other. And then trying to to make everything line up correctly. Which, you know, when they started inventing tablets that you can actually look at what you're doing, It's like, you know, like you're drawing on a piece of paper rather than doing some weird amalgamation of testing how good your hand-eye coordination is. At that point, I was so used to using this style that I didn't bother. But now that I have this nice computer, I'm wondering if maybe I should upgrade to get a Cintiq. I think it might be fun. And I think maybe I could do it. Alright, so we have Archie's head. Gonna draw his neck. Draw his neck, la 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 la. Drawing his neck, la 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 la. Do 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 do. There we go. There's the handsome boy. So now, I'll bring that line in a little bit more. Do 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 do. So my children, how many of you are artists? How many of you like to draw too? And what do you like to draw? Do you like to draw characters? Do you like to draw architecture? Do you like to draw, you know, your family or your friends? What do you guys like to draw? I like to draw my family and friends. That's my favorite thing. Eventually, I'd like to draw all the members of my family. You like to draw characters? Are they your original characters? Or do you like to draw characters from comics or stories? I like when I was little, I used to draw a lot of characters from books and stories and things that I was inspired to draw after reading, like Harry Potter. I used to read Harry Potter, so I would draw Harry Potter characters. And then I read Animorphs, and I loved the Animorphs, so I used to draw all the characters from Animorphs. And then I used to watch animated movies on VHS. So I drew things like Pokemon, and I drew The Last Unicorn. I drew lots of dragons. Lots and lots and lots of dragons. I used to draw animals a lot. Like, a lot of animals. I've always been fascinated by like illustration storybooks and things like that. Like storybooks where, you know, there's an animal and it has to go on a quest. So I used to draw the animals from those storybooks. Original characters and Hell of a Boss. Oh, those are all great things. Those are all good choices. I would say the most difficult thing to draw when it comes to demons is probably our horns. Our horns are a little bit difficult. I mean, it's hard enough drawing them, much less having them and then trying to put on your clothes in the morning. That's why don't let any demon tell you otherwise. We all have a lot of buttons, Velcro, and zippers in our clothing, but you'll never see them because like we're really good tailors. Archie here, though. Archie is lucky because Archie just has the one horn. I have two. And it's not anything like status. At least when it comes to my family, the horns aren't necessarily status. I know with some of the other families I've met, their horns relate to their status and their power. But not with my family. I have two horns because my mom has two horns. Some of my brothers, they have like 3 or 4 horns. But Dad says I take the most after my mom. He said I kind of look like a little version of her sometimes. But Mom's a lot taller than me though. Mom's so much taller than me. I don't know why Mom's so tall. She's almost as tall as Dad. And Dad's really tall. So I think I got everything from my parents except my height. My height I must have gotten from unluckiness. They're so much taller than me. I wish I was tall. My brothers are all tall. I'm so short in comparison. I'll bring this side down just a little bit more. Do 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 do. So I have been working on Mignon and I are gonna review a movie soon, and we have decided what movie we're gonna watch and review. And I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I'm really excited to do movie reviews for you guys because I love movies. I don't know if you guys are big fans of movies as well, but I am a huge fan of movies. I could watch a movie, you know, almost every hour and be satisfied. Yeah, DNA failed me with my height. It's true. It's true. But yeah, I watched a really interesting movie that I want to talk to you guys about while I draw. I don't know how many of you have heard of this movie, but this is a movie we will definitely review. So I'm not gonna give away too many thoughts about it. But I watched a movie called Annihilation. Have you guys seen Annihilation? It is so good, and I you know, as I do when I plan to talk about a movie, I did some research about it because I wanted to know, you know, how it developed, where they got the ideas, you know, was it an original idea or was it based off of a book? And it was based off a book, kinda. Like, when I say it was based off of a book, it was more like the book series was being written. It seems like the book series was being worked on while they were making the movie. So it wasn't like a Harry Potter thing where there was like 3 or 4 books at that point and then the movie came out. It was more like there was one book and then the author was working on the other ones. So, you know, they kind of ended up sort of doing their own thing with the movie, which I don't necessarily mind. I think it's sort of a valid way to go about it to a certain point, obviously. You know, if you're making an adaptation of a book, you know, make an adaptation of a book. I mean, people are going to want to see that movie based off of a book because it's based off of a book. You know, they're not going to see something that has the characters and then like have it be something completely and totally different. Like there's a movie called Blood and Chocolate, which is it's kind of garbage, but it has nothing to do with the book that it's based off of. But anyway, yeah, Annihilation. You should all, if you guys like movies that have sort of psychological or like philosophical, deep thinking parts, and that they don't hold the hands of the people who are watching the movie. They respect your intelligence. And they expect you to be able to follow along to the best of your abilities and respect the fact that the opening or the ending of the movie may not be like a concrete ending. It kind of leaves you going, huh, well, what do you think the ending was? Oh, I think the ending was this. Then you're going to love it. You're going to love it because it was so good. It was so good. And it had probably one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Not that it not like a jump out scene, like, you know, like how we were playing Miss Aiden on Tuesday and things kept jumping out at me and startling me and I screamed. That's not fear. That's a jump scare. That doesn't count. That's a haunted house. Yeah, Zarui, yeah. That was the scene, the most terrifying scene with a bear I have ever seen. And I'm not afraid of bears. They're bears. They're animals. I see them all the time. What is there to be scared of a bear? Just don't go near it, right? Like, you see a bear, respect the distance, and let it do its bear thing. But this was a bad bear. This was a bad bear. This was a very, very angry, dangerous bear. Like, there was nothing natural about this bear. So, believe it or not, whoever made this movie actually made a scary bear scene. Oh, yeah, Edge of Tomorrow. Also, I think it's also known as, I'm gonna redo Archie's mouth here. It's also known as You Cannot Redo, or something like that. What was the Live, Die, Repeat? Wasn't that what were the alternate titles? Something like Edge of Tomorrow, You Cannot Redo, and Live, Die, Repeat. But yeah, I just want more people to see Annihilation. That's why I'm going to review it at some point. Because I want... That's better. Because I want more people to see it. So I can talk to more people about it. All You Need Is Kill? Really? That was the title of the manga? Or was it a manga? I thought it was a Japanese manga, wasn't it? Or was it a novel that then got turned into a Japanese manga? Novel first, then manga. Gotcha. Speaking of which, you know a trend I find very strange right now. The act of turning classic novels into manga. So, I don't know if any of you go to the bookstore that often, especially with you know, quarantine and all this stuff, but there's so many classic novels they have been turning into manga. We're talking Les Miserables, The Count of Monte Cristo. Of course, they made an anime of that as well. What was another one I saw? Pride and Prejudice. There was another one. What was the other one? I don't remember, but yeah, like turning these novels into manga. And I don't know how I feel about that. On one hand, it's kind of cool. But on the other, I'm kind of like, do we need a manga adaptation of Pride and Prejudice? Like, is that something that we actually legitimately need? Oh, whoops. Yep, that's looking good. I do love Pride and Prejudice, though. Ugh, Colin Firth. Take me in your arms. Take me on a romantic Regency-based adventure. Tell me about how my class of people isn't good enough for your class of people. I love Pride and Prejudice. I love Pride and Prejudice. Oh, so, well, manga and anime, if you're unfamiliar with those terms, I mean, I'm sure you've probably heard of them, but for anybody who's watching who doesn't know the terms manga and anime, of course, manga is Japanese comics, illustrated comics, and anime, of course, is Japanese animation. But yeah, well, an interesting thing is, back in the, let's say the 80s, like around the 80s, 70s, 80s, when Japanese animation was becoming a little bit more ambitious, sort of like, you know how Disney like would do, you know, adaptations of all the fairy tales and stuff. Like, you know, they would do Cinderella, and they did Sleeping Beauty, and this, that, and the other, because they were in the public domain, and so they could change things or do their own takes on things, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And then they wouldn't really have to pay anybody royalties, right? Well, Japan did kind of almost like an opposite. Japan, around the, like in the 80s, 70s and 80s, they would get rights for novels that were also in the public domain, but they would get like European novels. So we're talking A Little Princess and Secret Garden, Anne of Green Gables. Well, I think Anne of Green Gables is actually an American novel, but you know, that's Heidi, the story of Heidi and stuff like that. And then they would make anime adaptations of those. And I don't know why they did that. I don't know if they were trying to appeal to an American audience. Maybe it was Western studios that were sponsoring it or commissioning these adaptations. But I find it really interesting. If you guys do some research, you will find a whole host of Japanese animation shows and movies and stuff that are just based off of Western stories. And I think that's really interesting, how it almost feels like now in the modern period that the West is kind of doing the opposite. Like, instead of adapting our own novels, though obviously they do that as well, they will instead go to Japan and decide to do an adaptation of a Japanese video game, or a Japanese animation series, or a movie, or something like that. And I think that that's interesting, how you have this sort of, you know, now Japanese animation is usually based off light novels. Now, let's be honest, a lot of the Japanese animations we're getting now are based off light novels, whereas back in the day, it used to be based off European novels, and now, I don't know, it's just weird. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, this is so strange. Never a fan of Les Mis? Greek and Roman stuff turned into anime and manga. Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Well, don't they have an anime series out right now? That's Greek and Roman mythology based, isn't it? I thought I saw something. I thought I saw something about like some sort of Battle of the Gods type anime. But it sort of looked like it was the style of the Castlevania anime. You know what I would love? I would love an anime, like a horror anime that actually feels horrific. There have been anime that have horror moments, or like really scary things happen, but I haven't seen a horror anime that made me scared. But like, the other thing is that even though I love horror, obviously, Blood of Zeus, yes, that's what it was. That was the Greek and Roman one. Yes, Blood of Zeus. Even though I love horror, I don't like certain things, and I think you guys have noticed this from when I have been playing the games that I've been playing. I don't like violence against children. I don't like Physical violence of a intimate nature. I'm not going to say the words, and I prefer you guys wouldn't either, just because we don't need to. But I don't like violence of an intimate nature, and I don't like what's the word? I'm trying to find the right word. So like that kind of thing, violence against children, or like prolonged torture, I guess is the word. Like I don't like torture. Don't like torture. Um which may seem like a little he may seem a little bit weird coming from a demon, but like, there's enough of that on the planet already without our help. Um I like psychological horror. I like what you're seeing real, or is it all in your mind? I like monsters. I like concepts. Those are my favorite. And I've never really seen an anime, a horror anime at least, do those concepts. Oh, a suggestion for a beginner? Well, tell me what kind of things you're into. Like, what type of content do you like? Do you like fantasy? Do you like romance? Do you like slice of life type stories with believable protagonists, or do you like something more fantastical with lots of adventure and action? Because I could name some great ones, but they're not for everybody. And I like, there are some that I like that are from all periods of time. I also have ones that will just make you cry. And I don't mean like scared cry. I mean cry like your heart will be broken in two and then stepped on. Um I guess if you were going to be a 100% beginner, you can never go wrong with the Studio Ghibli films starting you out, especially because those are movies rather than series. And with those, you can really get a taste for, because they do have so many different ranges. Um, if you want to start out with a movie, definitely do a Studio Ghibli movie. And if you like fantasy, there's the Studio Ghibli movies I would recommend would be, well, God, a lot of them are fantasy, actually. If you like the idea of Japanese mythology, Princess Mononoke. That one is more for adults than it is for younger viewers, and it's so richly beautiful. Um, I would also recommend for studio, well, Spirited Away. You have to, if you watch nothing else in your life, if you watch no other anime in your life or animated film, Spirited Away. You have to. Um it won an Academy Award for a reason. It's such a compelling movie while being almost what we would call a bottle movie. Um Oh, thank you. Thank you for wishing me a wonderful. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you. Um, yeah. So the interesting thing about the movie Spirited Away, without telling you anything about it, is that it it's a when you actually sit down and watch it, you don't realize it until after you finish it. But it's actually a very humble film in that it doesn't have a lot of locations. Um, it's almost what we would refer to as a bottle movie, where a bottle movie is a movie that takes place in predominantly or almost entirely in one location. So they don't like go on a lot of road trips. They don't go to New York City and then go to Virginia and then go to California. They're not popping all over the place. A bottle movie takes place almost entirely, if not entirely, in one setting. And that setting can either be in a house or in a an apartment, or it can even be in I don't know. If you stretch it, you can even say it can be in a oh, I can't even think about it, like a museum, you know, like it all takes place in a museum or something like that. And the idea is that the reason it's called a bottle movie is that it's almost like the actors are trapped in a bottle, like a ship in a bottle. They cannot leave it, they cannot move, and they cannot go anywhere. And for a majority of Spirited Away, that's how it is. The protagonist is in one location. Now, she can go different places in that location, but she's in one location, and she literally, under contract, cannot leave. Now, there's more reasons as to why she can't leave, which, again, I won't spoil if you haven't seen it. But, yeah, so even though she is trapped in this location, so many fabulous things, so many fantastical things happen to her while she's there. And it's so interesting to see. So, yeah, that, if nothing else, please watch Spirited Away and then tell me what you think. Come back and tell me if you liked it. Also, the music in it is banging. Music in it is so good. Written by a gentleman named Joe Hisaishi. One Punch Man. What did you think of One Punch Man? Did you like it? I have not actually watched One Punch Man yet. And it was is actually mostly because at that time a lot of superhero movies had come out, and obviously One Punch Man was definitely riding on the success of, you know, the superhero film craze. And I was so burnt out on superhero movies. I was like, you know what? No more. I'm good. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to watch any more superhero movies right now. And that included animes. And I was like, oh no. But I've heard a lot of people have told me that I must watch it. Let's see. How do I feel about body horror stuff like Junji Ito? Oh yeah, no, I love body horror. As long as the body horror isn't like, again, as long as it doesn't involve the, like, my two main no-nos. As long as we're not talking about a child being in horrible pain, and as long as it doesn't involve a woman or man or child being hurt, if you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean. As long as it doesn't involve that, then yes, body horror all the way. Let's go body horror. It's so fun. Like, one of my favorite movies is The Thing, and that one is just body horror, the movie, honestly. This whole idea that you can be taken over by something not of this world, but it won't be you. It'll be something else. He's not a superhero, he's just a bald man. It's true. That's true. I like his quote, what's with this sassy lost child? I love that quote. That quote is so funny. I do like the question, somebody, I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw like a demon or one of the imps say, you know, who would win in a battle, Goku or Saitama? And some people were like, Saitama! And others were like, no, Goku! Oh, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind! Yes! Oh! Oh, it's so good. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I think Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is my favorite Studio Ghibli movie, which is sort of funny because I think it was the first Studio Ghibli movie. Technically, it was made back before there was even a Studio Ghibli. Um, but Nausicaa is so good. So very, very good. I even started to read the manga. But the manga's actually kind of hard to find. I didn't finish it because I couldn't find any more volumes of it. You can imagine how hard it is to get manga in the underworld. Alright, I think I need to... This is gonna sound weird, but I think I need to raise his crotch a bit. No judgments, of course. No judgments. Oh, whoops. Better. There we go. Haha, there we go. Much better. And then drag this to make it attach. Boop, boop, boop. Like that. Really? Oh, what a joy for you. The first one I ever watched was My Neighbor Totoro. The original dub, not the Dakota Fanning, Elle Fanning dub, which I am not a fan of. I fully admit I do not like the Dakota Fanning and Elle Fanning dub. I like the original dub. I don't know. It's the one that I know. It's the one I grew up with. I don't know. I also don't like the fact that they like in the original dub, Totoro's voice stays the same. In the Elle Fanning and Dakota Fanning dub, they actually got the one dude from Everybody Loves Raymond to dub Totoro. And the one reason that kind of rubbed me the wrong way is because Miyazaki-san is the one who dubs Totoro. Miyazaki himself dubs Totoro, and it just doesn't seem right to overdub him, especially because all Totoro does is go rah, rah, or roar. So why dub him? Why bother dubbing him? Oh, actually, you know, I might just have to bring the whole leg over. Oh, whoops. There we go. That looks better. That looks much better to me. La 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 lee 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 lee. Oh, you know another movie I saw recently that I really, really liked? It was, oh gosh, my mind is drawing a blank. Hold on, it'll come back to me. I'm having an Ezreka brain fart. It was, gosh, which movie did I just watch that I really, really liked? Oh, The Valley of Guangzhi! The Valley of Guangzhi. Have you guys ever heard of that movie, The Valley of Guangzhi? It's an old one. It's from the 50s. If you guys like classic movies, if you guys like to watch classic movies from the like stop motion animation era, like Roy Harryhausen and stuff like that, or Ray or Roy Harryhausen, that gentleman, he worked on the Valley of Guangzhi, and I was reading about it, and the Valley of Guangzhi was a project started by a friend of his, and that friend had worked on King Kong. And then the friend had always wanted to make this movie, but then sadly died right before they started production. And so Harryhausen, because they were such good friends, took over the project to finish it, because it was his friend's project and he wanted to see it realized. And it's basically to put it in the roughest description I can, it's cowboys versus dinosaurs. Cowboys versus dinosaurs. And it's just good fun. It's just a lot of fun. It's goofy, it's silly. It has horrible dubbing. It wasn't made in a foreign language, but like the main actress is dubbed. I don't know if that's because she was awful. Whoops. I don't know if she was just a bad actress or what the reason was for dubbing her, but her dubbing is terrible. Like, they barely match the lip movements, and like the mixing of her dubbing is awful. Just some of the worst I've ever heard. But that, like, it adds to its charm, though. It makes it fun. Because you're watching it and you're like, wow. This is not, like, the stop motion is amazing. Harryhausen knows how to do stop motion, but, whew, the sound in this movie is just atrocious. And anybody will tell you, sound in movies, so important. Everything from the soundtrack to the sound effects, it's got to be done right, or it's just not good. Do 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 do. Do. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering why I am drawing Archie without his clothes, I do this because it helps me to figure out where the clothes will fit. Because I gotta know where the clothes are gonna fit. Do 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 do. By the way, YouTube friends, are you guys seeing me okay? Because for some reason I'm looking at my YouTube studio, and it's my video. It says there's been an error with my video, but it says that my connection is good, and it shows that I have the viewers. So, is my video okay over there, guys? It might just be that my playback, like my personal playback, I can't see it, which is possible. Let's see if I click off of it and then click back on. Yep, there we go. There we go. Now I can see it. Now I can see it. There we go. Okay, good. Good. So, one thing you'll notice is that Archie is actually, he's quite muscular. And I don't know if that's just because he's so small, and so all of his muscles just make him look stronger, but Archie is really strong. Archie is surprisingly strong. He helped build the castle, actually. He is quite a strong little bean, I'll tell you that. He can lift rocks bigger than like most houses. Like we're talking he could essentially lift like mountains and not break out in a sweat. I don't know how he does it. I mean, obviously he's a demon. He has demonic strength, but like, you know, there's having demonic strength and then there's just showing off. Of course I say that. I'm not very strong. I don't know why I'm not as strong as my brothers. I do my best. Never had to be strong, though. I mean, I can be emotionally strong. I'm plenty emotionally strong. But when it comes to physical strength, I'm not very strong. I mean, maybe. It's very possible. We do have great gym memberships in the underworld. I don't go to the gym, though. It's too sweaty. Oh, come on, line. Let me draw over you. Oh, I'll draw over it again later. So, I'm almost done drawing his whole body. Yeah, I could pick up Archie in my hands and just kind of carry him, though. He may be strong, but he's so tiny. He's a good friend, though. I'm glad he agreed to come with me to the human world. So, with quarantine going on, has anybody seen any good movies lately that they want to talk about, or read any good books or anything lately? I haven't read a full novel in a long time. Though, you know what I found? One of the first things I found when I came to the human world, I found these copies of Dracula and Frankenstein. So I plan to start reading those as soon as I can. I just haven't gotten around to it yet because I've been so busy streaming. I also found a book. I found a really interesting book. It's like a Cthulhu book, and I'm always so fascinated about what people write about my uncle. Like, because everybody has a different interpretation of what he's gonna do. Heck, I'm not even sure if he knows what he's gonna do. Mm-hmm. Lately, though, what I've been wanting to read is like short stories, like a good collection of short stories. I have admittedly, and I'm not even saying this as a joke. I'm saying this 100%. I have also been listening to a lot of Audible. I have been getting books on tape on my smartphone and then pulling it up and then listening to that. And I think it's so funny because so many YouTubers now are sponsored by Audible, but it's like, it's so funny because it is a legitimately good service. And I'm like, oh, I want to listen to this book on tape. And then I will go and I will buy it on Audible. And it's great. I do wish it wasn't so expensive though. Like, how come an Amazon Prime account costs less than an Audible account? Is it because you get a free audiobook every month? I don't know if that's enough to charge you as much as they charge you. That's what I believe anyway. Oh, yes, I have well, okay, I have played Diablo, but I haven't played a lot of it because before I got this new system, the other computer system I had didn't actually work very well with Diablo, even though Diablo isn't like a new game. The other system I had was so loud and got so hot whenever I played it. I was so afraid it was just gonna make my computer blow up, which wouldn't have been good. Um, and now that I have this system, I have not had a chance to get Diablo on it. But I would like to play Diablo. I think maybe playing Diablo in future streams would be a lot of fun. I remember the last time I played, I was a necromancer because I was playing Diablo 3, and I think I was a necromancer girl. But yeah, I think Diablo would be a lot of fun to play on a stream in the future. Especially because it is very much like a horror themed game without being horrific, you know? Plus, who doesn't love, smacking skeletons in a top-down RPG? Maybe it was Witch Doctor. Maybe that's what it was. I just remember I had, like, the ability to summon the dead. And I could also summon spikes. And I also remember my character had a really sexy female voice. Like everything she said was like really sexy. Yeah. Did you come to my Miss of Aiden stream? Because my Miss of Aiden stream was really funny because I kept screaming. I will be continuing it on Saturday, but I think I've gotten through like the scariest parts. I think I've gotten through the scariest parts. Um towards the end of the stream, on Thursday, or excuse me, Saturday, Tuesday, towards the end of the stream on Tuesday, we had gotten to like the monster ending. And the monsters don't scare me. I can handle monsters any day of the week. I am not scared of monsters. But ghosts I am scared of. I'm not good with ghosts and mannequins. I can't do mannequins. Every time a mannequin appeared on Tuesday, I was screaming. I was screaming my little lungs out. All right, how do I want to draw this hand? Is that arm too skinny? Yeah, I don't know what it is about mannequins in games. Just I guess that's why it's so funny, because you know how there's the show Doctor Who and there's the Weeping Angels, and the Weeping Angels are scary, but I think the only reason they're scary is because they are so mannequin-like. Like, what they do to you isn't bad. Like they send you back in time. Like, yeah, that sucks, and like you're taken away from like your family and stuff, but like you're not killed or tortured or anything like that. You're just sent back in time or sent forward in time, or you're displaced in time, which is I don't know. That's not scary to me, but they themselves, like the creeping up on you from behind and like ending up in like your face, that's scary. That part is scary, but like what they actually do to you, I don't think is that terrifying. But that makes sense, because I don't think Doctor Who is meant to be super scary. I mean, Doctor Who it seems to me to be more like about, haha, adventure. Let's go on an adventure. Alright, let's see if I can draw this hand right. Hands are always a little bit tricky, aren't they? I like drawing hands, but if I'm doing one in a strange position, I always have to think about it a little bit before I proceed. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. What do I think about? Oh, like the actual Christian theology of Jesus? I don't know. It's not really my area. It's not really my area of expertise. I don't know. You know what I think? I think people should be allowed to believe in anything that gives them hope. And I don't know if I really believe in a lot of practices that deal with religion, but I do believe in hope. I believe that hope is an important thing. And I believe that for many people, religion gives them hope. And I think that if that is important to them, then I think that there's nothing wrong with that belief. It's only when the beliefs start to really impede upon basic human rights that I have a problem with, because I love humans. And I believe everybody should should do what they believe is the right thing, but that right thing should not hinder or hurt others, nor should it affect the way we perceive others. So, as long as, people care and look after one another, then, I think that's all that's really important, honestly. I think that's all we really need to worry about, is looking after each other and making sure that we treat others with respect and with kindness and with care. And I know that's I will, and you know what? Just because I'm a demon doesn't mean I don't think that we should treat others nicely, I may love mischief, I may love chaos, but I also like making friends. Human blood for breakfast. No, it's too much iron. Not good for you. I'm watching my figure after all. I don't know how I like this hand, if this hand is coming out how I want it to. What if I move it, like, rotate it a bit? Oh, drawing hands is hard. I guess I could go this route of him, like... No, I don't really like that either. I might have to redraw this hand. Let's see. I'm gonna erase it right, or just make it invisible right now, and then do it on a different layer. Nobody ever made me mad enough for... Oh my gosh! Yobi and the Five-Tailed Fox? You bet your bottom dollar I've seen that movie! Oh my gosh! I don't know anybody else who has seen that movie. Oh no! I can't believe that you've seen that movie! Nobody else I know has ever seen that movie! Oh man! Yes! Of course I've seen it! Oh, how do I want to do this hand? You need to go? Well, thank you for coming, Kula! Thank you so much for coming. I hope you had fun. I really appreciate you coming and watching. Oh man, no, but seriously, I have never... Have a good day to you too, Kula. Have a great day. Man, I have never met anybody else who has seen Yobi the Five-Tailed Fox. I really have not ever met anybody who has seen it. Fist on the hip? That might do it. Hold on, I'm gonna look at my hand. I'm gonna put my hand on my hip, and then see how it looks. When in doubt, try the position yourself and see if you can replicate it in your drawing. Let's see. He can always put his hand out. I don't have to have it on his hip. I mean, I realize I just drew this whole arm, but I don't have to have it on his hip. Let me do this. I'm gonna... Alright, I'm going to turn on that. I'm going to flatten this part, and then I'm going to make it go invisible, and then I'm going to redraw the arm just kind of hanging out and see how that looks. Can we talk about Yobi the Five-Tailed Fox, Eldritch, because we need to talk about this movie. We need to talk about Yobi the Five-Tailed Fox and how unusual it is. Because it's a weird film. Like, it's really, like you said, it's really wholesome, But wouldn't you also... Oh, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna draw this arm, and then I'm gonna copy and paste it. Wouldn't you also say that the movie is really strange in addition to being really wholesome? In that I don't know about you, but I think it tried to do too many themes. Like, the basic story of it is really good, but like, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So if you don't want to hear spoilers for Yobi the Five-Tailed Fox, maybe mute the stream for the next few minutes. But like, the part with the aliens. Why are there aliens in the movie? I think that you could remove the aliens entirely, and you wouldn't miss anything. Like rework it so that instead of it being aliens, it's like, I don't know, just creatures of the forest. I don't think the aliens bring anything into the story. And I think, honestly, the story would be better without them in it. Because the fact that they're there kind of, I think, throws things off. Like, it kind of makes things a little bit confusing. Because everything else in the movie seems more targeted towards folklore. But then you have aliens. And I'm just like, do we need aliens in this movie? I don't think we need aliens in this movie. Alright, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to make a new layer really quick. I'm going to invert it. But yeah, I would say that the movie is almost perfect aside from the aliens. There we go, that's better. I actually think this was the better idea. Better idea. Go with something simple. Sometimes you just gotta go with something simple. Now I got the Totoro song stuck in my head. Totoro, Totoro. Totoro, Totoro. La 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 la. Alright, now I can raise the opacity. I think it's another Korean animated movie that I kind of wanted to see. It's like, I don't know, it looked equally weird. It looked kind of strange. It's like, I think a guy turns into a cow. And then there's a girl who's a space alien. I think this must be a trend. Like in Korea, maybe they're like, you know what this movie needs? Aliens. To be like, we're just gonna have a dude who has a crush on a girl, and then he turns into a cow, and it's gonna be funny and whimsical. And it's like, oh, but you know what it needs? Aliens. It's like, hey, Paul, have you finished writing that movie that we asked you to write about the coming of age story and all this? Yeah, but you know what I think it needs? Aliens. I don't know. I maybe it's just me, but it seems like a lot of Korean animated films I've seen have involved aliens. Yeah, the aliens. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. I really liked it. I did really like it. truly I did, but, like, I don't think that there should have been aliens. I think they should have been something else. I think you could have replaced them with something else. Because, like, their story isn't even resolved at the end. I think you should have just narrowed it down to Yobi, her spirit friends, and the human characters. Maybe, maybe they do. Maybe they just really like E.T. They're just really big Spielberg fans. They love E.T. Alright, now I can draw his hand. And his hand will be just fine, like this. It's so funny because I love aliens. I do, but like it's sort of like you got to do, if you're going to combine folklore with aliens, you got to do it right. Otherwise, it's like, you got your aliens on my folklore. Well, you got your folklore on my aliens. Of course, if we were watching Ancient Aliens, it'd be fine. Totoro, Totoro. Do 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 do. 不思議な出会い。あなたに来るわ。I will fix this arm because I do know that it's probably too long, so I will adjust this. Do you guys have favorite animated movies? Because I do. My favorite animated movie is The Last Unicorn. I think it's a brilliant story. It makes me cry every time I watch it. Because I'm a big wuss. I'm a big wuss who cries at unicorn movies. That's true. Biblically accurate angels do definitely look like Lovecraftian abominations. And they're not really supposed to be looked at either. Like, they can't really, I think one of their, I could be wrong, but I think like one of the mythos is like you can't even perceive an angel. Though, where did the description of biblical angels come from? Was it from Dante? Was it just from the Divine Comedy? Was it from Dante? Because if it was just from Dante, then I don't know if you could really call that a biblical angel so much as one guy's fan fiction interpretation of angels. One very weird gentleman saying, "This is what I think angels look like. So this is what angels are going to look like from now on." And then of course, Milton is the one who. Oh, maybe it wasn't Milton. Who was it that wrote? Who was it wrote? Oh gosh. It's the one. It's the one where Satan is a sexy bad guy. Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost. That's the name of it. Yeah, Paradise Lost. Which was who wrote that one? Who wrote Paradise Lost? I can't remember. Was it Thomas Mallory? No, it was Milton. It was Milton because Milton, because it's that line, better to serve in hell than serve in heaven. Yes. So it was Milton. Yes? I'm going to say yes. As a demon, I should know this. I wasn't necessarily good in school. Oh, that looks much better. That looks so much better. His hand looks so much better. Yay! See, unlike me, Archie doesn't have claws. I have claws. Archie doesn't. Alright, I'm going to draw his ears. Speaking of unicorns, I always thought that Archie looked like a unicorn. He looks like a unicorn sheep. A sheepcorn, if you will. You know, back in the day, they used to actually make sheep corns. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but back in the Victorian age and the Edwardian age, for circuses, they would take a goat, a young goat, or a young ram, and they would surgically move its horn buds to the center of its head, so that when its horns started to grow, the horns actually fused into one big horn, and then they would actually make unicorns for circuses and stuff. Oh yeah. The Black Cauldron. Oh, the Black Cauldron is great. I had a crush on the Horn King. I'm not gonna lie. I had a weird crush on the Horn King. I can't explain it. He's very evil. He had that sexy John Hurt voice. But he's kind of weirdly hot. I was into it. Plus, I mean, considering he's like supposed to be super evil, he wasn't like that. I don't know. It was really funny when I watched it, because at that point in time, I had seen like evil characters and other things. I had seen evil characters in like The Flight of Dragons and stuff, and they're so evil. They're like, haha, I will destroy all of you. I'm going to do everything I can to kill you and whatever. So like in the Black Cauldron, when the Horn King has the protagonist, Taran, I believe his name is, he's like, he calls him like my boy and stuff, and he's like, oh, my boy. Tell me, are you the owner of this animal? And I'm just kind of like, oh, he's kind of nice. You know, evidently in nature, you know, I know it doesn't sound great. It doesn't sound great, the horns fusing together, obviously. But evidently in nature, the reason that they started doing this, I think, is because it actually happened with a ram that somebody had, where it was just like a birth defect where like the horns were fused together anyway, And they were like, oh, well, we could make them artificially. So at least in nature, it definitely happens, but that doesn't mean it's good, you know. You know, anything that causes an animal pain. But I don't know. I don't know. It is interesting. It is an interesting fact, if nothing else. I'm glad that we don't do it anymore, but it was an interesting thing. But then again, you could say that of so many things. Yeah. Chaotic evil versus sexy lawful evil. And we can forgive the sexy lawful evil. I mean, that's what isn't that like what Loki is from the Avengers? Well, he's not really evil. He's more like chaotic. Like he's not even chaotic neutral. He's just chaotic. He just needs a hug and like some ice cream and for somebody to tell him to calm down. Like Loki, we get it. You have daddy issues. Just calm down. It's like Loki, you're ruining Thanksgiving for everybody. Calm down. Oh, you want to know what? Here's a fun question. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite like bad guy? And I don't mean bad guy like I mean more like demonic themed bad guy. Like you know how there's always like that one character, like the Horned King is very much meant to be, you know, monstrous. Um and you know you have so many other things in so many other films that are very much coded to be, oh, this is the devil. It's the devil is in this child. What's your favorite example of that? Because my favorite example would be Omadon from the movie The Flight of Dragons. He's voiced by James Earl Jones. He's so deliciously evil. He looks just he's the only character I've ever seen in an animated film that has a cleft palate, which is I never noticed until I just thought he had like a cat mouth, but no, he has like a cleft palate. Um, I'd definitely say he's my favorite. But what's your favorite? Would you say the Horn King is your favorite, or what would you guys say is your favorite? Because there's so many good ones. I also like Mock from Rock and Roll. He kind of looks like a weird caricature of Mick Jagger. Oh, I love the music in Rock and Roll. If you guys haven't seen Rock and Roll and you like animation, that's another one you should check out. Oh, what will the signal be for your eyes to see me? It's one of the songs from it. It's a diegetic musical, meaning all of the songs in it are meant to be songs. Like they're not meant to be like, you know how somebody is feeling big emotions and they just burst into song in a musical? They're not like that. They are intended to be songs. Watching off sides as I wait, just in case you need me. Oh, I wish there was a full soundtrack of that movie. Sadly, there isn't like a full soundtrack. Because a lot of the stuff for the movie was kind of lost. I think like due to a fire or something. Like of the original prints, that is. Though sometimes I wonder if like studios make that excuse, because I feel like I've heard that before, like, oh, we can't find it. There was a fire, and I feel like that's to a certain point. Like maybe they might not be being so truthful about that. Whereas that's what they're saying instead of saying, yeah, we don't really care, we don't really feel like doing this, so there was a fire. That's why we can't do a better print of this movie. It's because there was a fire. I'm sorry, there was a fire. We can't do it. And it's like, was there actually a fire, or do you guys just don't want to do it? Oh, Archie and your fluffy hair. Your hair's so fluffy. You're my sheepy boyfriend. Well, he's not my boyfriend, but he's a boy and he's my friend. Gosh. Drawing a whole gaze is hard. What do 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 do. All right. Let's see. Hup. Whoop. Do 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 do. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do after this stream? I'm gonna get some ice cream. I'm gonna have. I think I'm gonna have an ice cream sandwich. Mmm. Who here likes ice cream sandwiches? If you don't like ice cream sandwiches, then you must be a very sad person. I don't mean it. I don't mean it. I'm joking. But I love ice cream sandwiches. It's probably one of my favorite things on the human world. Oh, you have a dairy? No! No! Oh no! I'm sorry, that's like the saddest thing is it okay, I'm actually curious. Is a dairy allergy different than lactose intolerance, or is it the same thing? Because I knew somebody with an egg allergy once. But they were very young, and they actually grew out of the egg allergy when they got older. And then of course there's things like two different things, huh? Okay, so, you want oh no. Oh no. Oh no, that's so sad. Wait, is it just dairy milk? Or can you have like almond milk? Because you could get it. I bet we could find you an ice cream sandwich with almond milk. As long as it has like vanilla flavoring, it'll be fabulous. Unless you don't like almond milk. I would make you an ice cream sandwich. You know, almond and soy. Oh, that's good. I will make you an almond milk ice cream sandwich. I know how to make ice cream. It's not too hard. I will make you an ice cream sandwich. I'll make you one even better. I'll make you a chocolate chip cookie ice cream sandwich. Homemade, home baked. Oh yeah, Jean-Claude Frollo from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Oh, that is such a good one though. Like demon coded villains. Oh, that's an excellent one. You know what's really funny? I watched a video once, and um and in the video they were talking about like strange childhood crushes, and I guess for some people Jean-Claude Frollo from the Hunchback of Notre Dame was some people's childhood crush. which is which is so weird, but at the same time I can kind of understand it. I can kind of get it because like um well, he's voiced, for one thing, he was voiced by Tony J. And Tony J just, that voice, he just had that voice, you know? Like that kind of weirdly seductive, deep baritone voice, which, he did a lot of voice work. And, like, he was in King's Quest 6, he was in, what did I see him in? Oh, he was in Beauty and the Beast. He's the asylum owner from Beauty and the Beast. He played a lot of villains, but he also played like fatherly figures and stuff, and he was on Broadway. So I so evidently, you know, he was listed as being, you know, one of the big crushes for young kids. And they were like, well, why? He's like not attractive. He's horrible. He's misogynistic. He's just bad. And like the resounding answer was, I don't know. I guess when you have a childhood crush, like it's not really supposed to make sense. It's just whatever invokes that that initial feeling of, oh, I don't know this feeling, but I don't know what it is. Is this love? Like, what is this feeling I'm feeling? Um, yeah, well, yeah, that song in that movie is one of the greatest things ever made. And, you know what's very funny is my favorite animated musicals all feature the musical team up of Steven Schwartz and Alan Menken. Alan Menken, of course, being the composer, and Steven Schwartz being the lyricist. And Steven Schwartz, if you don't know this already, would go on to do the music and the lyrics for Wicked, which, of course, is, you know, a fantastic musical. And he did the Alan Menken and Steven Schwartz did the music and lyrics for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and then they also did it for The Prince of Egypt. And The Prince of Egypt is by far one of my favorite musicals of all time, which is ironic, you know, obviously given my parentage, but I made a joke. I made a joke with a friend the other day. I said, most people headbang to heavy metal music. I headbang to the Prince of Egypt soundtrack. But yeah, what an amazing. I wish they would do more stuff together. I don't know why. Um but man, they truly did some amazing stuff together during like the renaissance of Disney and animated films. You know what's interesting about the Prince of Egypt? Other than it, being the story of Moses, the thing that fascinates me about that movie is that, most animation studios generally, I have found is that when they're working on like their first project or like their initial projects, they normally will play it safe and do like an adaptation of a book or a fairy tale or something that's in the public domain that they don't have to pay a lot of rights to, if any rights at all. They won't do something based off the Bible. But DreamWorks was like, you know what? Let's do something based off the Bible. And or okay, maybe not the Bible specifically, but let's do something based off the Cecil B. DeMille uh Ten Commandments movie. Like let's do an adaptation of that. And they did it and it worked. It worked. It really did. And it was astounding. And it really sucks um that there wasn't the what is it called, the animation Oscar for best animated feature back then, cuz I'll tell you what, it I think it should have been nominated. Evidently the only Pixar traditional animated film to be nominated for that Oscar was Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron, which it totally deserved. But man, I wish the Prince of Egypt could have been nominated, because I think it would have won. I truly do. What an astoundingly beautiful film. And like you said, it holds up. It holds up. Music, animation, all of it. Absolutely astounding. It really makes me miss DreamWorks traditionally animated films, because they really did have a look all their own. There was only one point in time where I ever watched a uh a traditionally like a 2D DreamWorks animated movie and thought it looked like Disney, and that was at one point during Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. There are like these little baby horses, and they're about to be attacked by a puma, and Spirit comes in, like the horse, he comes in and he saves them. And at one point, the puma really looks like a Lion King lion. And that's the only time whenever I watched a DreamWorks animated feature that I was like, oh, this just looks like Disney. It's just that particular lion looked like a Disney lion. Oh, drawing your curly hair, Archie. Archie, your curly hair drives me crazy. Why do you gotta have curly hair? You're stealing my forelocks. We do have a lot of curly hair in the underworld, believe it or not. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the humidity. Maybe it's the humidity. We're at the Earth. We're close to the Earth's core. There's a lot of fire and brimstone. I guess that all just leads to frizzy hair. Frizzy curly hair. Do do do. Do 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 do. To harp one more time on the Prince of Egypt and the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You know what I realized both movies have, due to the epic team up of Stephen Schwartz and Alan Menken? Both of them have really, really crazy cinematic opening songs. Like for the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you have the Bells of Notre Dame, which is just like, oh my gosh, that opening, like the music in it is so epic. And the guy who they got to play Clopin, or Clopin, he has such an amazing vocal range. And then of course for the Prince of Egypt you have Deliver Us, and you have the late great Ofra Haza with her vocals. And she was so influenced in her vocals for that movie that she ended up dubbing herself in like 18 different languages for that song, because she was so good that they couldn't imagine her not singing all of her parts. So she learned phonetically how to sing like Japanese, and I think like German, and of course her native language was Hebrew, so then of course she did the Hebrew dub as well. um so talk about taking a part and making it your own, am I right? Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Um, just man, Alan Menken. What a Yeah. I like to say that, how obviously back in the Renaissance and things like that, we used to have composers, and we had uh the operas and all that stuff. And I like to say that the modern version of that, even though there's plenty of people who write waltzes and stuff now, I like to think that their compatriots for this generation are the people who write film scores, because just like opera was the thing to see and do back then, going to the cinema is, or watching movies is what's done now. And so it really does feel to me like people like Alan Menken and Alan Silvestri, and the late, I think Alan Silvestri has also passed. I think maybe not. Maybe he's still alive. But the late great James Horner, and things like that. Like they were the modern Mozarts. They are the modern Mozarts because they write music for these great epic, means of storytelling. We don't really get as many operas now. And if we get operas, usually they're like rock. Mostly I see rock operas, which are also great, but yeah, so I really do feel like film composers have become the contemporary people, continuation of that type of composing spirit. And I kind of love that. It makes sense. It makes sense that that's what it has become to me. Truly it does. Alrighty. Well, Children of Darkness, we have been streaming for about 2 hours now. So I think it might be time to wrap up this stream, and I will continue this um, in a future stream. So let's talk about for the rest of this week. Saturday, we are going to finish up Miss Evaden, and then the next stream will be on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we may do another art stream, or we're gonna start on a new game. I have to think about what we're gonna do, because there's one game that I really want to play for you guys, and it's scary, but it's not that scary. It's more of like a mystery game, and I would really like to play it for the stream. So we'll see which one might be best, whether to continue this picture on Tuesday or to start the new game on Tuesday. But Saturday, we will finish up Mists of Aden, and it'll be at the same time, 8 o'clock. So I hope you guys will come and join. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But let's look at what we finished today. So there he is. There's Archie. Archibald. He's looking really good. You know, if I wanted to mess with him, I would have drawn him bald, so then he would be Archibald. It's lowbrow, but it's funny. So, all right, my children of darkness, I will see you guys this Saturday at 8 p.m. We will finish up Mists of Aden, and then I will schedule the next stream for Tuesday, and I'll let you guys know on Twitter what we will be playing then. So until then, everybody, I'll say bye for now. And remember, stay spooky.